Ever since the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot, the franchise has been seemingly reinvigorated, and now we have the third entry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Coming off the releases of the excellent 2013 title as well as Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider has a lot to live up to. And with the game not too far out, in this video, we want to take a look at 10 things that you absolutely need to know about Shadow of the Tomb Raider before you buy. Without further ado, let's get right into this. The story in both of the Tomb Raider games thus far have been very good, and I expect no different in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so let's go over the story background. Shadow of the Tomb Raider begins about 1 year after Rise of the Tomb Raider. Lara Croft travels to Mexico and later Peru in order to stop an apocalyptic event, but ends up setting it into motion herself. In the process, accidentally killing a ton of innocent people. Racked with guilt, Lara blames herself for this terrible event. Trinity is once again involved, and Lara vows vengeance against the organization for what they did to her father. This brings Lara into conflict with one of the leaders of Trinity, a man named Dr. Dominguez.
We can't let Trinity get hold of this.
Let's think this through.
Do you realize the tragedy you have unleashed?
The cleansing has begun. It falls to me now to stop it before it consumes us all.
What have I done?
Number 2, while on the surface, and I've been hearing this a lot from people viewing Shadow of the Tomb Raider gameplay, the game does look a lot similar to Rise of the Tomb Raider. However, there are numerous adjustments made to the gameplay in this title. The controls for swimming have been completely revised, as Lara is now able to hold her breath underwater for a longer period of time thanks to air pockets. She also gains the ability to rappel down a cliff using a rope, and those are just a few of the minute gameplay tweaks. Expect more tweaks similar to that in the final product.
So when you ask about traversal, yes, the world now is pushing back even more. The world is always a character in the Tomb Raider games, and so the world is protecting its secrets, so it's going to make it even more challenging for her. So there's a little bit of a, how am I going to get up there? You've got the rappel, you've got the wall run, you've got the swing. So these are all things that add a layer of difficulty to the exploration and the traversal.
And now she's fighting like eels in the underwater?
Absolutely.
Number 3, in the game, you'll be able to change the difficulty of different game aspects. So while in the past, and this is the case for pretty much every video game, you have selections based on, say, easy, normal, hard, very hard, in this game you can alter things like combat, puzzles, traversals. Now you might ask yourself, how do you lower the difficulty of puzzles? Well, if you do so, Lara will lose her survival instinct ability at higher difficulties, while at lower difficulties it'll remain intact. Also, traversable ledges and the like will no longer have their telltale coloring and scuff marks, so to me that sounds like an added level of immersion into the game if you do play with those difficulty settings turned on. Number 4, like its predecessor, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going to offer a lot of exploration and a lot of side activities as far as hunting wild animals, crafting materials using the resources collected, solving puzzles, and explore optional tombs. Number 5, as we saw with Rise of the Tomb Raider, that game was much bigger than the first Tomb Raider title, and expect the same with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. While it's not becoming a full-blown open world game, in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it will have one of the biggest hubs ever created in a Tomb Raider game and more tombs to explore than ever before. These games are getting bigger and bigger, and it seems like that's translating well into the bigger picture, because with Rise of the Tomb Raider, while it was a bit bigger, it's not like anything really got lost or the game got any more muddy. Number 6, now a little while ago I just talked about immersion. Well, in Shadow of the Tomb Raider there will actually be an immersion mode which will enable players to turn off English voices for background characters in order for characters to speak in their native languages. So if you really want that absorbing atmospheric experience, it seems like Crystal Dynamics have tweaked specific things to allow players the option to have that. Now if you just want the regular experience that we know and love, you could have that too, but it's really cool to see that Crystal Dynamics is offering variety to the players, and options like this also add a layer of replayability to these games, so I see absolutely nothing negative about this.
This place is empty. Body here. Looks recent. Guards up.
They can't be far.
Gotta find out what's going on. You, take point.
Lead the way.
Maybe there.
Enemy spotted!
Number 7, as far as weapon types, it seems like that is intact. The combat once again allows Lara to carry 4 weapon types: bow, pistol, shotgun, and a rifle. The trailers do indicate that Lara will once again be able to use rope arrows in combat. Stealth will of course be making a return, featuring a new mechanic of using mud as a form of camouflage, and Lara is also able to disengage from combat when she escapes from enemies' line of sight.
Okay. How the hell do I patch these together? Kappa team still has eyes on Zona Maeva. Can we get more light in here? Kappa team still has eyes on Zona Maeva.
Next up, number 8, it wouldn't be a Square Enix game, or really just any big budget game in general these days without a couple of special editions and season passes. And with Tomb Raider, we've got quite a bit of that. Of course, you do have the standard game, which will give you just the game itself. That'll be $59.99 over here in the West. There's also the Digital Deluxe Edition, which will give you 48-hour early access to the full game, additional skill booster packs, a PlayStation 4 exclusive dynamic theme, an original game soundtrack, and additional weapon outfit. And then there is the Tomb Raider Croft Edition, which will give you everything from the Digital Deluxe Edition. On top of that, you get 2 additional weapon and outfits, and then you also get the Season Pass, which has quite a bit of content, 7 challenge tombs, 7 weapons, outfits, and skills, and multiple narrative side missions. Now, a lot of people are going to be turned off by this, because that is a sizable amount of content being stripped away from the game, and Square Enix even has the release plan out. They've had that out for months, and I don't know, that rubs me a little bit the wrong way to have all of this DLC planned out so far ahead. Obviously, we know why they're doing it. These games are getting more and more expensive to develop for, so you need to recoup costs somehow, but still, in my eyes, it does look a little bit excessive. I should also mention there's the Shadow of the Tomb Raider Ultimate Edition. This edition has everything the Croft Edition does, but also a couple of additions, including a Lara Croft statue, a climbing axe styled bottle opener, and a flashlight. I don't know if that's gonna be up everyone's alley, but if you are a super fan, it is something to look at as well. Number 9, now let's talk about Shadow of the Tomb Raider's performance on Xbox One X as well as PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, of course, on PC, the options will be limitless, but right now, it looks like Shadow of the Tomb Raider will be running at 4K 30 FPS on the Xbox One X, and it will allow for an option with 1080p and 60 FPS. As far as PS4 Pro performance, it looks like that's still a little bit unclear. I would imagine it would run similar to this, but a notch below. And of course, on the standard PlayStation 4 and the standard Xbox One, 1080p 30 FPS will be the goal. Just know if you do have the beefier consoles in the Xbox One X or the PlayStation 4 Pro, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a game that's definitely going to be utilizing the extra hardware capabilities of those consoles. And finally, of course, we gotta round out this video by talking about when this game will be released. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X, and PC. Will be releasing on September 14th, so just a little over 2 months away as of the uploading of this video. And at this point, it looks to be one of the best games of this fall season, and that's saying a lot because this fall season is absolutely stacked, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider sits on there with the highly anticipated games. So that concludes this video. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a game that seemingly doesn't have a lot of anticipation at this point, maybe because it is so similar, because we have seen Rise of the Tomb Raider, and that was a pretty recent release. The PlayStation 4 version just came out 2 years ago, but still, Rise of the Tomb Raider was excellent. I'm sure Shadow of the Tomb Raider will be just as good, if not better. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.